need sunscreens and what do they protect us from? In this lesson, we are going to be going over what is a sunscreen, why do you need it, different types of sunscreens, the differences between broad spectrums SPFs and SPF PA+, what active ingredients protect you, pros and cons of wearing sunscreen, and finally using what we learned to choose a sunscreen that works for you. So what is a sunscreen and why do you need it? Well, a sunscreen is a product that either absorbs or reflects the sun's ultraviolet radiations and helps to protect from sunburns. But why do you need it? Sunscreens filter out the sun's harsh UV rays that can cause premature aging, skin cancer, and so many other harmful things. Then what are the different types of sunscreens? There are two types of sunscreens, a chemical sunscreen and a mineral or physical sunscreen. Chemical and mineral sunscreens are very different. A chemical sunscreen absorbs into our skin and converts those UV rays into heat. However, there are many researches done that show how these types of sunscreens can cause damage to coral reefs and us. In this picture, it shows how the sun's UV rays are getting absorbed into our skin and then turns into heat. A mineral sunscreen, which is also known as physical sunscreens, reflect the UV rays off the skin. This type is so much safer for our skin, but still has some downsides to it. Unlike chemical sunscreens, mineral sunscreens typically leave a white cast and don't feel very pleasant to apply. This picture shows how the UV rays reflect and bounce off the surface of our skin instead of absorbing it. Now, what is the difference between a broad spectrum SPF and SPF PA+? SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor. This only protects you from UVB rays. Like in this picture, the UV rays are going through the skin while the UVB rays are not. Now, broad spectrum is very simple. It protects your skin from both UVA and UVB rays. This picture shows both rays bouncing off the skin. Now, PA+ are the hardest to understand out of the three. PA stands for protection grade of UVA. An example would be SPF 50 PA++++. The SPF would show the protection of UVB rays, and the more pluses after PA means the more UVA protection you get. It is very similar to broad spectrum. What active ingredients protect you though? There are so many filters out there that I cannot talk about all of them, but we are only going to be talking about the most popular sunscreens used in the American brand sunscreens. In these sunscreens, what filters out the UV rays? Zinc oxide is one of the most popular ingredients in mineral sunscreens. It is the best sun protection filter out there that is available in the US. Even if there are better ingredients out there, not many are available due to the FDA's strict list of filters you can formulate and sell in the US. Zinc oxide is a mineral that sits on top of the skin. It scatters and reflects both long and short UVA and UVB rays. It is also one of the few mineral sunscreen ingredients that does not leave a harsh white cast. Like zinc oxide, titanium dioxide is also a mineral. Sunscreens with titanium dioxide are really good for sensitive skin and does not irritate it. It is also broad spectrum and protects us from UVA and UVB rays. Next are the filters that are most common in chemical sunscreens. Most of the time, companies formulate with 2 to 6 of the ingredients: oxybenzone, avobenzone, octisalate, octocrylene, homosalate, and octizate. Most of these are not the safest ingredients and can do more harm than good, especially oxybenzone, avobenzone, and homosalate. These filters can be very harmful to our bodies when they get absorbed into our skin. If they go deep enough, they can even go into our bloodstreams. Overall, avoiding US chemical sunscreens are ideal to protect our skin for the future. Now, what are the pros and cons of wearing sunscreen? Well, some good things about wearing sunscreen is that it can decrease likeliness of getting skin cancer, premature aging, prevent sunspots, help acne scars from darkening, and prevent sunburns. There are not a lot of cons about wearing sunscreens, and most are personal issues that can happen, and it doesn't affect everyone. But you can still have an allergic reaction to an active ingredient, and you can have acne or blemishes if not washed off properly. Now that we have gone through everything about sunscreens, we can use what we learned to choose what to look for in a sunscreen that works for you. What to look for in a sunscreen. A mineral sunscreen, one that contains either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. A broad spectrum sunscreen, and an SPF of at least 30. These are only some things to look for in a sunscreen. And remember that the best sunscreen is something that you want to use on your face every day and something that you enjoy putting on.